Hey everyone, quick life question for you. How much do you tip? I know this sounds kind of weird, but I want to do a vlog on tipping. I know that sounds kind of strange, but um, my family kind of recently had an argument over this. Um, for the longest time, the standard has been 15% of the total bill. If you're not from the U.S., you may not know that we don't really pay our waiters and waitresses any real wages. As a matter of fact, in a lot of states, you can write them, pay them just high enough to cover all the taxes, so their check is actually zero. So the only money they make is tips. So what is the new standard? Is the standard still 15%? Is it 20%? Has that gone up? Do we have to worry? Is it our problem that you took a position that pays you zero? Is that on us? Is that on you? Where does that come into this equation? So family recently was out and we kind of had a disagreement. My dad decided that 15% is still the standard. It's not our fault that you took a position that pays you 0 and all your money is off tips. So the standard is still 15%. My sister disagreed. She said the new standard is 20%, at least in the state she lives in. Now, she lives in New York. Well, in New York, you can pay them just enough to cover the taxes, and then they end up with a paycheck of $0.00. So all of their money is made off of tips, which means the new standard is 20%. And since people are paying with cards, they have to now pay taxes on these tips instead of cash, where they used to not have to pay taxes on that. So the standard definitely has gone up in her eyes. My dad said it's not our problem. It's still 15%. That's still the base standard of tipping. Now, in other countries, I know they pay them enough money that you don't really have to tip. You can tip, you don't have to, though. Here you pretty much have to. It's pretty much it's almost a requirement. Like, if you stiff them, you're kind of a jerk and everyone kind of dislikes you. So here's what I do. Here's my thought on it. I'm in California, so I'm sure we probably have the $0.00 thing also. So I normally tip around 15% if you just do your job. Like, if you just take the order, you bring us the food, you take the plates, you bring us our drinks, you take our drinks, refill them, all those kinds of things, and you're relatively polite. You don't add or detract from the experience, but if you just do your job, I'm around 15%. I may round up and it's like 16, 17%. 20% is kind of the same thing. You were just a little bit more polite and you did a little bit better of a job. It's a little bit quicker. You checked in on us a couple more times. We didn't have to really ask for anything. You were on it. All those kinds of things. And 25% is you did a really good job. You added to the experience. You made it a better experience being there, and you were at the table quite a bit. Asking us, making sure we had everything. You took the order on time. We got our food on time. I know that you can't control that, but the refills the drinks got refilled quickly. We didn't have to call you over and ask or anything. You were on it. 25%, you did a really good job, made the experience better. Now, the other one I've seen, at least my sister's, was 20% is just doing your job. Because this lady, the waitress we had was going to probably make zero that day, because, again, the per hour was just enough to cover taxes. So 20% was the new base. That's just what you tip over there. And then 25% is, oh, you did a little bit better of a job, and then like 30% would be you did a great job. It still seems a little high, but what do you guys think? What do you think the new standard is? Is tipping still 15%? Is it 20%? Is it 25%? What should you tip? This isn't including haircuts and things like that. I gotta get a haircut. My hair's been blown around by the wind, so it's all messed up. But I tip. I round up in my haircuts. This is like poofing up. The wind's blowing it everywhere. The wind really blowing today, so it's like blowing my hair all around. So I got to get a haircut soon. This looks all messed up. I think haircuts for me are like $16.50 at like Supercuts or something. So I round up to 20 and just give them the $3.50. It's just easiest. Any taxi driver, things like that, they just get, if I have change or a couple bucks. I'm not tipping huge, but waiters and waitresses seem to be the big one. I still think we should just pay them enough that you don't have to tip. Prices will go up a little bit, but still it's easier than tipping. And I think there are studies that show if you pay them better, like service goes up and profits go up, because they're not giving away free stuff trying to get better tips or anything like that. Not that they give away free things, I'm just saying that. Sometimes they might try and get, like bartenders might pour a little bit more, trying to get a little bit more extra cash. So let me know what you think. Let me know how much you think tipping should be. And does it change by state? Like California and New York are expensive to live in, so should you tip a little bit more there compared to maybe like what, Montana or Wyoming or one of those kind of Midwest states, and maybe it's a little bit cheaper to live in? Let me know what you think. I'm still at 15%. I round up though, so I'm really kind of in like the 17% range. You know, I often tip 20% because people are polite, and I want to make sure they make some money that day. Let me know how much you guys tip and what you think it should be.